Hello, hello, hello. We are live.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We took a little bit of a break for the holiday weekend, for Thanksgiving and whatnot. It's been a long time. I know everybody misses it.
Yeah, we
How's
have.
everybody doing? Welcome to another Beyond the Sum of Our
Fantastic.
Parts. I got my lovely host Jordan here with our two lovely surprise guests. We got Jess Reese and Drea Local. What was that? Local?
Nicole?
Lacole. Drea Lacole. I like that. That's very smooth. So today, as normal, we do a lovely dive. How is it? Dive in, as Jordan would say, into interesting topic discussion that most people choose to either avoid or just don't really think about asking questions. So, Jordan, what is our topic for today?
Today, friends, we are leaning into the topic of unveiling infidelity, exploring the causes and complexities of cheating. So we're here. We're leaning in. We're doing it all, right? So, with that being
Yes.
said, thank you, Drea and Reese, for joining us. The first question that I have for all of us is what has been your experience with cheating? Have you ever cheated on a partner or have you been on the victim end of infidelity? What did that look like? How did it affect your relationship? Let's dive in.
For me, I've cheated. I think what 3 times, 2 times. I think in my entire thing. But granted, though, the longest relationship I ever had was a year. So that being said, uh,
I feel
actually.
like saying that disclaimer just made it worse.
The
Like
reason
I'm just
behind that.
maybe it's just me.
Okay, no, probably. So for me, with that being said, I've only done it like 3 times in my entire dating career. Um, so actually, I didn't have any consequences or repercussions of it. It's like when I did it, I felt bad. I just ended the relationship. Did they know it happened? No, they did not.
Oh.
Well, except for one person, I did tell them. Their response was very shocking to me, and I didn't know how to. I wasn't mature enough to respond to that because when I did it, and I told her, I'm like, I'm breaking up with you. She's like, why? I was like, listen, to be honest with you, I feel bad because I cheated on you with somebody. She's like, that's not a reason to break up with me. I mean, just next time, ask me so I can join in. I was like,
Oh. She was
Okay.
very
I wasn't ready for
mature.
that. I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for that. I was like, still, I can't do it because that's not me. I'm not that guy, and I'm a one woman kind of guy. Like the complete traditional monogamy sense mentality, which is completely skewed. Let me be that person. Let me now meet now. Oh, me and her would still be together. Like say if I had that mentality now back then. But yeah, for me, that was me. The other two scenarios, I was with somebody and yeah, I was with somebody. They didn't know. Nobody knew. But yeah, I just ended the relationship pretty much.
I'm sitting here thinking, and I'm like trying to think if there was a relationship I ended that didn't have to do with cheating. I've never cheated on anybody,
Wow.
but that's a realization that just hit me. I don't think I've ever had to break up with anybody for a reason other than that.
Wow.
So that's eye opening. But
So
Same because
cheating
I
has
nobody.
been a pattern in your life.
and my track record is quite the opposite of Mike's. All of my relationships have been 6 to 7 years and up. Um, so I don't know if that's people going through the 7 year itch or just getting tired of the same relationship and then ending up cheating or just being really good and not getting caught until eventually.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't think I've ever had that where I
So,
ended up it wasn't that.
with you and your partners, did they talk to you about it? Like, was there a conversation that was had, or was it like I found out and then we just ended it? Like, do you know why or what the
Girl,
circumstances around it were?
with me, I think we have patterns, right? So my
Right.
unfortunate pattern is they will carry that lie to their deathbed. Like they won't admit it
Oh.
for anything. They will like be busted with proof and evidence, and it will just be like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's all in your head. You're crazy. It's that. It's
Yeah.
that. It's that
Yeah.
gaslighting.
So
Definitely
you
that
never got an
gaslighting.
opportunity for actual closure. We just
No,
pretend like it did. Oh,
would
that sucks.
like you're nuts, and it didn't happen. And as a matter of fact, my one of my relationships had emails and documentation, and like it was a whole thing. And
Thing.
I was just
Oh.
like how are you gonna look me dead in my face and be like, I don't know what you're talking about?
Right. So then, if they had come back and been like, you know what, you're right, I am, would you have been willing to repair the relationship?
I'll never say never, because you never know what you'll do in the moment, right? And it really depends on how much you care about or love that person. I think because every relationship we carry is different. The way you love one person is always very different than the way you love another person. And what you'll put up with one, you won't always put up with in your next relationship, whether it's growth or just how you feel about that person. So I can't say whether I would or I wouldn't, but I will say that I used to think once a cheater, always a cheater, and people are just very, that's just who they are. But time has taught me that as life changes, people change with life experiences, change your thought process, they change the way your reactions, they change who you are. Because I know me, right? I'm 44 now. If you introduced me to 21-year-old me, we wouldn't even be friends. Like, we couldn't even communicate in the same circles. I'd be cordial and say hi because that's who I am now, but we couldn't hang. I'm a totally different person than I am then. So people do grow and change. So I've learned to give grace, but I don't, I still don't know. I know now I'm more of a, if I caught somebody cheating now, I wouldn't care how I felt about you, but that's because of where I am in life and my age. I just don't have the tolerance or the patience for it anymore.
Yeah.
Or I'm just gonna be the devil's advocate here. With the evidence stuff, no matter what evidence you present, Shaggy set the trend. It wasn't me. Whether you call me or
because
not,
that's exactly what I would get. That's exactly what I would
shower,
get.
it wasn't me. In the counter, it wasn't me. You even got me on camera, it wasn't me.
But that's the thing that I don't understand. Why, like, if you're in it, there's all of this evidence. Why can't we just be open and honest and say, yep, you caught me. This is the thing. Like, why is that so hard? Drea, did you have something to say?
Yeah, so with me, I've had 2 instances, but most of them was like in my younger 20s. So I'll never really count that. Like, I'm 35. So it's like, we're getting dumb. But one of the guys, it was internet related. It was got caught online. Y'all remember when, what was it? MySpace was out?
Yeah.
A lot of people know that they had an adult MySpace.
Mm-hmm.
And go on there. He's on adult MySpace, naked pictures.
Oh.
Talking, seeing the messages. We were living together, everything. And he got mad because I went through the computer we shared and I seen it.
So you violated his privacy and he was offended.
Yep, basically.
Okay. All right.
Can somebody tell me why guys do that? When you catch them cheating, why is it every guy's go-to to be like, well, why'd you go through my phone? You
should have trusted me doing untrustworthy things.
Listen, I can explain. Listen, I can explain that. I can explain that plain and simple. A wise female friend of mine once said, if you go snooping, you're gonna find what you're looking for. There's that one, right?
Will.
Okay, now in my thing like this, treat it like the government policy. You don't open up people's mail and not expect consequences from opening up their mail. If you going through now, in Drea, in your case, he should have logged out and let you log your own self in. He violated on that. And y'all probably still be together now if he would have just said log out, Control Alt Delete. He's got it. But he did not do that, so therefore there's the problem. Now I'm not, and now once again, I'm not saying his behavior and his actions was okay. But if you gonna do it, gentlemen, be more mindful and respectful. Don't leave your phone out. Don't be doing all of that.
Just be honest. We're not giving tips on how to cheat ethically. No, just
we're not giving you tips on how to be sneaky.
Right?
No, you're right. Okay. You're right.
Something is missing. Honest. I'm in search of something. I have this void. Whatever your reason is, we don't care, right?
And you know what? I feel like to be honest with you, I'll say this. The reason why most men cheat, and it's nothing against the woman or anything like that. It's just it's the mind. It's the societal mindset you get in. Because the stuff you do with the side piece or chick you cheated on, you ain't finna do with your girl because you put her on a pedestal.
But why not?
No, but and that's the thing.
excuse and a cop out, and so many different levels.
But 100% though. Why you may feel that way, but in some cases that's what it is, because the things you want to do sexually or whatever your kinks or whatever it may be, you may feel like it's too shameful, and the person that you're with may not accept you for it. And I'm a firm believer, if they're not going to accept that part of you, then they're not the one for you. Go get somebody that accepts that for you. But some people they get caught up into the societal norm of basically, oh, everybody's wanting to keep a certain part of themselves a secret. And it's like, and for most men, you want to keep your chick on a pedestal where she's like, nah, don't kiss your mother in the mouth. You know what she did last night? And that's the thought process. Whereas a complete stranger, you can go like balls deep in, put your foot on the neck, spit in the face, slap her, do all that stuff, and be like, I don't care about her. But with your chick, it's like, nah, she's a pillow princess. We giving her the pillow princess, meat loving kind of thing. And then, it's just like, why? And you don't know actually. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of men don't. I feel like a lot of men, like, they get into a relationship and the sex is great, but then people don't start asking, what are your kinks, or having those adult conversations, what are their fantasies and things like that, and being mature enough to handle their response to that. Because most men are like, oh, nah, I don't want to know. Nah, I'm gonna do my thing on the side so she can stay where she's at in this little comfortable mixed-shaped box where I got her in, or she put herself in. They don't want a woman to basically, they don't want their woman to basically be the freak that they desire outside. They want her to be the home, the safety net, the clean, proper image in the catalogs that you see, and the dirty underbelly of the sexual acts is what the side piece is for, that other chick is for.
But then that kind of goes back to the conversations we have about, is it realistic for us to expect one person to meet all of our needs, whether that's physically, mentally, emotionally, sexually, which counts as physically. Is it realistic for us to expect our one person, our partner, our primary partner, whatever, to meet all of our relationship needs?
So I believe that it's possible. The point is, people do not want to have those conversations. So you are getting with people that you do not match with fully for the things that's at the top of your list. So if you like men that like to be pegged, blah, 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 or any other kinks that they like, if you can't be honest with the person that you married and that you chose, then that's not the person for you, like they said. But people are not having those adult conversations. And I'm going to be honest, a lot of adults don't know themselves fully. Ooh, and a lot of things on women, and women take this time to say they want to get to know themselves better. If that's exactly what they're doing, how else do you find out what you like and don't like unless you know who you are fully? And a lot of people don't, or they're ashamed of what they like, or they're ashamed of what they want sexually. So therefore, those conversations never happen to the full extent of what they are supposed to. And that's part of the reason for cheating, flat out.
Right. And that very much goes in line with, how society impacts, societal expectations and pressures play a role in infidelity in relationships, right? And you said it, if we're not ourselves, if we feel like we're not in a safe space to fully be ourselves, if we feel like society has these expectations and these pressures on us, how can we be honest in relationships?
Right.
If we can't even be honest with ourselves in the world, how am I supposed to be honest with my partner?
And that's how you end up getting with the wrong person. The person that is not for you. That's how you end up with them. Not fully being yourself, hiding things. And then when they find out, you find out that you guys don't mix. You didn't mix from the very beginning for that specific person, specific reason. So that is why people look outside of their relationship, because you can't be honest. You don't know who you are. And now you know you're craving this one specific thing that is very, 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 very important to you. And the person you lay down at night don't know it or can't do it. Y'all shouldn't have never been together to begin with.
I'm going to interject and ask a question though, because this brings up a good thought process for me. I feel like we're reading too much into it. I think what we're talking about is how a woman sees it versus how a man sees it. Because I guarantee you, a
Very
man
true.
is not having these deep thought processes about should I or shouldn't I, can't I or can't. They literally get caught in the moment and react. And then want to have regrets about it later because there's consequences with those actions. And then they have to try to cover it up. When women cheat, it's emotional. When men cheat, it's more out of a reaction and selfishness. Oh, wait, not emotional, but it's more
about connection.
Let me just say that.
Yeah,
it's more thought out.
Right.
It's, even if it's an instant connection, it's a connection with somebody.
Right. And I wouldn't say men and women, masculine and feminine, because there are some women, some females who respond like that masculine energy. I see this thing, it looks good, I'm excited, put my thing in the thing, there's a connection, we're done, right? And it's just like what you said goes in line with what Damon said. Some do it just because it's a thought that goes through their mind. Yeah, I see this person, I think they look hot, I want them, the end, we're doing this thing, right? There is no in between. I'm not even thinking about my partner. And that's where a lot of people, specifically more feminine people, get offended when their partner cheats because they feel like, well, it's me. What did I do wrong? Why wasn't I enough? It has nothing to do with you.
It's not
nothing.
you.
Absolutely nothing. This other person. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can still love you 100%, be with you all day, every day. But just because you can't do one thing, just because I can't do one thing with you, doesn't mean I should just toss you away because of that one thing or the 3, 4 things, 5 things, whatever number there may be. The connection between us is good enough for me to say, I want to come home to you, but I'm finna go ahead and get this itch scratched every now and again from another person. It's got nothing to do with you. But everybody's like, no, I don't want it. I don't share. You're not sharing. It's just a temporary libation. It's like getting a drink. You come back, I'm good. Hey, what's for dinner? Hey, you want to go somewhere? But no, who you been messing with? It's like we don't really care like that, though. It's like we just don't.
You're downplaying it, though. That's not okay. Because having sex with somebody or being intimate with somebody is still a very intimate thing. And then you're coming home and sharing whatever you caught out there with the person you come home to. So listen, I have no problem with people being polyamorous. If that's your thing and you and your partner both decide, yes, here's the boundaries. You're going to wear a condom. We're going to do this. We've talked about it. Go do your thing. There are people of like mind that do that, and more power to them.
It's the conversations.
For you to make that decision and then try to downplay it, like, oh my God, it's not that big of a deal. That's the selfishness. That's that illogical me, and then I'm upset because I got caught. That you didn't give her the chance to make that decision because you were afraid it would be no, and then you couldn't get what you wanted.
Right.
But
there's that, and then there's the fact that you also don't want to hurt the person's feeling because they're good people, they're nice people, and you know the action you did, the desire you wanted is not
hurt their feelings less.
If you do it properly, yeah.
No.
Once again, I'm telling you from a male's perspective. I'm just telling you from a male's perspective. That's all.
I had a partner.
I don't do it.
I had a partner. Okay. And we were married. Okay. Had just had a child. Said partner was cheating. Again, evidence trail. I pay the phone bill. So I see the record of all your phone calls. Oh, who is this number? Oh, let me call this number. Oh, chick on the voicemail. Talking to chick on the voicemail at 3:00 in the morning. Huh, that's really strange. Let me just ask about it. Go on MySpace. This was during the era of MySpace. Chick on MySpace is declaring that she is pregnant and the baby's name is the two of their names put together. This is just a strange situation that's happening right here. Mind you, this person swore up and down that he doesn't know this person, though they work together. He doesn't know this person. They're not having intercourse. He doesn't know whose baby it is. He doesn't know how we got into this situation. Just complete, again, like Reese was talking about, complete denial of all the evidence that's before you. This chick is screaming to the top mountaintops that y'all are doing the do and having a baby, and you don't even admit that you know her. Okay, cool.
My problem with that is how can you look at me in my face and go through all of that, everything she just said, and then still say, but I love you? That's the part that kills me, because you just basically told me I'm stupid. You basically just told me you don't think I'm intelligent enough to add up 1 and 1 is 2.
Okay.
But lying doesn't hurt anybody. No, not at all. No.
Well, okay. So here's the thing. When you lay it out that way, it is definitely bad. definitely bad, and there's no saving that because it is extremely bad. It's not okay. It's not okay. It's 100% bad.
Lying
I
is never okay.
I
Public
bow
service
out at
announcement.
this.
Go ahead.
I bow out this whole thing right now. Yeah, you should have just been honest, bro. Get what you want. There's people out there that's okay with that. I will say this: it's a selfishness though, too. 100%, like Reese said, is it selfishness because if I do it, I don't want you to do it. And that part is
Yeah.
because let's just say like a man gets a woman, she's like, it's okay. Why are you okay with it? No. I don't want it anymore. I don't want it anymore. I don't want it anymore. Why? Because I feel like now you're gonna do it and you're gonna mess up my fit or my box or whatever. Nah, it's okay. No, it's 100% of a selfish mentality. So I agree that it's not okay to lie whatsoever. So, I mean,
I actually had that situation where when I caught him cheating, and I said, "That's cool. You should have just had the conversation with me because we can have an open relationship. You do your thing, I'll do my thing." Man, the way that conversation switched so fast.
Right.
Man, the way those tables spun and the stuttering begun. Like it was a whole different ballgame then.
But that goes back to what I was saying about knowing yourself. If you know for a fact you as a man has no discipline, you know you are not going to be faithful. Clear, flat out. It's not going to happen. No matter how much you love that person, how much you want to be with that person, you have that urge that you have no control over, and you're going to cheat. So therefore, you need to go find a relationship that allows you to step outside. It has to do with knowing who you are and being honest with who you are. So when Reese say that she don't think men think like that, like they don't think that deep, they
they
definitely
should.
they know
No, no,
for
no, no. They should. They should. She's right. They don't think that deep. They should though. They should though, because like you said, we should go and get somebody that fits what we want. If you got lack of dick discipline, you need to get with somebody that understands your lack of dick discipline and not necessarily allow you, but then you also, and it's like again, it's the emotion, it's the mental male maturity aspect of understanding, because it's like again falls back into I don't want her to do it too.
But a lot of cheating comes. Go ahead.
but that's part of the thing. If you know for a fact that you have no discipline when it comes to that, we said you need to find a partner in that lane specifically, right? That's polyamory, polygamy, however you want to define it. But when it comes to cheating, it's not like they're going to a club and meeting someone at night and just smashing and never meeting this person again. Does it happen? Yeah. But most of the time, you guys are carrying on conversations with these women, taking them out, paying bills. It goes a lot longer than just getting whatever itch you need scratched. It goes a lot further. Y'all plan on keeping these chicks around for that specific reason. In order to keep that chick around, you're going to have to do things. She's not just going to be a at night booty call. You guys are connecting yourselves to a whole different woman by money, whether she's having children. You guys are attaching yourselves to whole other women. So it's not just about getting your itch scratched. Not at all.
Right.
Well, I mean,
process in order to get this chick in y'all bed.
Well, time out. Once again. From your female perspective, mind you think that it's not about getting the itch scratched. It just, to be honest with you, it really is. However, the problem is that how you say what you say, not all women are open like that. So you got to basically put on that suit, that interview process to get what you want. Because if it was that easy, all men would do it, but it's not that easy. There ain't a lot of women out there that's open to that. They're not advertising it like that. So it's like when you go out there as a man, you trying to have that conversation, you want to basically be like, all right, cool, this is what I really want. But it's like, no, I don't want that. I want a relationship. I mean, you bad though. All right, man, what's up? You know what I mean?
That doesn't mean you get to deceive those who don't want what you want just to get what you want. It's not the woman's fault. She's not deserving of being hurt and lied to just because you have a hard time finding what you're looking for. That's not my problem.
You're right. And you're right. And once again, it's not justifiable. It's not justified. I'm just letting you know what it is. It's like you got an itch. The person you really want to scratch that itch with is right in front of you. And they telling you they want a relationship before they bust it open. And you just going to be like, all right, bump it. I once told somebody that I was like, yo, there's this girl I just really want to smash it, but she ain't trying to let me smash. She wants a relationship. He's like, okay, that's fine. Just make her your girlfriend for about 2 weeks, bang it out for a little bit, and then break up with her. I was like, bro, you was savage, my G. You was a savage, bro.
Wow.
A friend of mine told me that.
Was
I was
this
like,
person male or female?
male.
Okay.
I was like, bro, you just straight up savage, bro. I had a female friend said the same thing too, but I was like, nah, bro, y'all moving kind of funny for me. I ain't rocking like that, bro. But that's just crazy though.
Rosalie commented, thank you for commenting. And Trish, thank you for joining us. Says, I met a guy that had a sexual addiction and he told me, I don't even think therapy would help him. I told him he needs to be upfront with women. Totally immaturity for sure. And I think what she says speaks a lot to kind of going back to what Mike said about itches. These itches, if you don't have the discipline, which Trish also commented, lack of discipline. If you don't have the discipline to hold yourself together when you have these itches, it speaks to something so much deeper than and I think Reese said this, so much deeper than it just being an itch. There is some subconscious something that is going on, some shadow work, something in the subconscious that's happening that's making you feel like I need to fill this void with somebody else's vagina. Like that. That's just it.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
For Mike. So you're talking about this natural itch that got to be scratched, right? So if you think about women go through ovulation because that is what is supposed to be there to reproduce children. But during this time, the women's human body is the warmest, it's the wettest around this time,
It's
and they
crying
also,
out.
and they also have an itch that needs to be scratched during this time because that's what sex was made for, was to reproduce. So therefore, and it's just, this is my just theory, that's why a lot of women don't be knowing who their children's father is. Because the man that they're with may not be around during the time they need that itch scratched. And that is part of my theory.
One's acceptable and one's not. That's crazy to me. You're absolutely right. On a physiological level, our bodies are the same. We have the same needs, but one is socially acceptable. It's more excusable for a man to be a cheater and to go out there and do all that stuff. And then as a woman, we are expected to do better, know better, act better. We're shamed more. We're called names. We're ridiculed. It's crazy.
Upright. Yeah.
But I feel like that's a whole woman thing. I feel like that's a whole women thing. I mean, there's some men out here that's like, oh no, she for the streets, she's just that and the third. She's just that and the third. But I feel like women are the biggest shamers of the women all day, every day.
But even look at what's Steve Harvey's daughter's name? That
Lori Harvey.
Perfect example. She's out here living her best life. Okay, doing all the things with all the people, minding her business, and everybody and their mom is in her underwear, worried about who she's sleeping with.
I don't care.
I don't want to get married. Listen, I'm not trying to be serious, but she's being ridiculed because she's being honest.
She's being ridiculed by a lot of women. Men don't care. Most men would feel some type of way, right? But men don't really care about that. She's doing her thing. But a lot of women go ham on her, and then I'm just like, bruh, let her do her.
Or they pull out her whole list of men that she's been attached to, and just because she's attached to them does not mean that she has slept with them. That's just
no, she did.
Assume.
How you know? You like her jaws?
Hey, like you said, women got that itch. I'm just saying, women got that itch too. You ain't get with somebody unless you try to get that itch scratched. So I'm just saying.
That is your unprofessional opinion. We're going to continue.
Okay. Unprofessional opinion. Okay.
Just dating. Women can go on dates, several dates with the same man, and never ever have intercourse with them. But let me tell you something. Y'all will call that, oh, she's fishing for a meal. Oh, she's dating. Oh, she's being a gold digger. She only spend money, but she don't want to put out. See how you just proved the double standard that happens there?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is, because I'm not gonna lie. I assumed she was clapping cheeks.
You assumed. You don't know.
Neither man has come forward and said that they slept with her. What man has come forward?
No, because like to be I'm gonna say this because I normally don't use that term, but a real man is not gonna be out here talking about. You're not gonna be out here slaughtering somebody's name on some clout mess just to basically validate what everybody's concerns are. You shouldn't, because that ain't nobody's business.
men do that.
But none of the men has come forward and said that they
And they shouldn't come forward. They shouldn't come forward. Like, I'm pretty sure everybody done slept with a bunch. Like, what you
that
no,
label.
no, what you will find though, a lot of women to come forward saying I slept with Chris Brown, Tiger, 50 Cent, but you ain't hearing them talking about, oh, I slept with Patti LaBelle. I slept with Pam Grier. Ain't no dude out here bragging about he clapping cheeks with a celebrity that he been wanting to get with. Ain't no dude out here talking about, yo, I used to date Beyonce back in high school, and if he does, that's the one cat who's basically, I messed up. I should have kept that. He gon' regret that. But ain't nobody else out here. Ain't no man out here talking about, yeah. They may do it within the man's circle, but you're not gonna go on social media, the news, tabloids, and just be like, yeah, I was all up in her. This, that. No, we're not doing that. No man is doing that. We don't care for that.
Trish
We had
says,
our fun.
what about Nick Cannon?
What about Nick Cannon?
Nick Cannon, he's not talking about it. He's just planting seeds everywhere.
Hey, Nick Cannon made it very clear.
Ow.
Nick Cannon said he got a genetic disorder, disease, or whatever, and he's trying to propagate his DNA. He's not being off the chain with it. He just let it be known off rip. I'm clapping cheeks and I'm planting seeds.
But the only thing I can respect Cannon is that his situation is up front. Whether he put it out there or not, his situation with all of his baby mamas. You know,
11 of them.
You know, he has a team of them, and he say he messed with all of them.
My man
But
got an NFL team.
He's taking care of all of them. He's not leaving it to them.
Yeah.
But even still, his situation isn't technically cheating because it would be like ethical non-monogamy because he is open and upfront. This is my situation. I'm planting seeds in all the places. You're either with it or you're not, right?
Exactly.
So why can't everybody just do that? Why can't we all just be honest and open about what we want to do?
And again, you're right. It's like the Matrix was the best movie in the world because there's people that's gonna take the red pill and the blue pill. There's people that don't give a fuck about what society's cultural norms and expectation. They're trying to put us all in a box, and they just basically gonna be what Nick Cannon does, explain themselves up front. What Lori Harvey does. I don't want to be married, but I'm dating and I'm doing me. Nobody like you got the blue pill and the red pill people. Go straight up. Because that's really what it boils down to. You're either going to have people who want to talk about, who want to be upfront and transparent about their things and their dealings and wants. And like Drea said, some people don't really know themselves. Therapy is a hard thing for men to do and to basically come to terms with that. And I will often say that some men often cheat on women because they got to validate their masculinity from sexual trauma that was done to them as a kid, and which men don't talk about. I ain't gonna lie. I was as a kid, that happened to me, and you know what I'm saying. And you know, my sexual promiscuity behavior is a stigma from that because I'm trying to prove that I'm not gay. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here clapping cheeks every chance I can to basically make it known that, hey, I like women. I'm not that guy, but it's like, you know what I mean? It's a trauma-based response. Right. So while we're not talking about it, that's the reality. We're not talking about it because nobody really says what is your what is your therapy? No one talks about the therapy aspect of why people do the things that they do.
Because I think a lot of times we don't even get to the why because like Reese said earlier, you know, these things happen. I find the evidence. You're so busy avoiding it that we can't get to the root of what the thing is, right? Yeah. Or I don't have the tolerance to even ask you or entertain whatever I don't even want to hear it. We're done here. But I feel like if we just took the time when these things happen, even if you want to break up with the person afterwards, doing them the service of saying why, like what was happening within you that made you feel like you couldn't come to me and have this conversation? Why was there not a safe space for you? Why did you feel like you needed to go fill this void? Like Trish said, what was happening? And even they might never have an answer for you, but just to plant that seed and allow them to start processing that as opposed to just, well, you suck, boop, close the door, we're moving on, right?
But I think women also need to create, not just with therapy, but women also need to create a safe space for men to be that open. Because there's a lot of men that like to have certain things done to them, but on the outside looking in, that would be considered gay or homosexual. So it's not
stigma,
an open some of the things that they need or some of the things that they want done sexually. And I know that because when you talk to guys, especially someone you're interested in and you've dated for a while, and you guys start to, explore a little bit, there are certain things that they may want done that they're not going to tell you that they want done until you can make it safe and comfortable for you guys to try new things.
Yeah, and it's about having that. It's a literally. I preach this out every time when I talk to new people. It's about having those uncomfortable conversations. Bump the whole "what's your favorite color" and stuff like that. Let's talk about the dark, ugly secrets to make you feel comfortable. Because if I can accept you at your dark, ugly secrets, and 100%, I'm not finna throw it in your face. Because that's the one thing everybody, as adults, men and women alike, we don't want it thrown in our face. We don't want you to bring it up in an argument. This is something I'm sharing with you to let you know, not to be like, oh no, you got this going on and that, and to throw it in your face. And so it is, like you said, you are right. Creating a safe space for people to basically be open with themselves truly and accepting is hard, but not a lot of people understand that is needed, especially women when it comes to dating men, because men are always going to say, I'm fine. He can have a whole broken leg. His kidneys is failing. I'm fine. I'm good.
Where are those men at? Because that's not my experience. Y'all get a cold and act like you're dying. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. We get a cold and we still got to feed the kids, give showers, cook, clean the house. Y'all get a sniffle and oh my God, now I don't know what you're talking about. But seriously though, I don't think it's just about making a safe place for men. I think that's a biased kind of opinion. For me, it would have to be making a safe space for each other, choosing to be in a relationship to each other and acknowledging each other, because men aren't the only ones that withhold those things or withhold those thoughts or withhold those fantasies or don't share things that they want or desire for fear of being judged. We don't want our men to think of us differently. We don't want them to be like, oh my God, she's a whore. Like, we hold those same things back. It's about us all being consenting adults, having those uncomfortable decisions, but making a safe space for both of us. If we're in this together, then we need to be in it together.
Yeah.
So the reason why I said specifically men is because when you're dating women and they get into an argument, depending on the women you date, the first thing that they want to throw out is
the stuff you opened up.
He gay, or that's the first thing that comes out of a woman when it's an argument and they're doing it online. Like, you see it all the time. They flat out, that's what they go for. Oh, he let me stick this, that, and then he's tagged as being gay forever, and it's not really. And that's why I specifically said men, because that's mostly what I see. Men call women who have more than 3 bodies a hoe all the time. That's why I specifically said men.
Yeah, but I think men do the same thing nowadays. I think they throw anything hurtful. Toxic is toxic. Period. Yeah. If you're in a toxic relationship, toxic is toxic. And the things I've seen, because the world changed a lot, right? But I think men now will throw something in your face just as fast as a woman would. I think people are, when they get into ugly situations or ugly relationships, toxic is just toxic.
Hurt people.
Right, exactly. I think one is just called out more because it creates a stigmatism on a man, and so that one is the one that's signified. But you just made that point clearly. Oh, well, they call us whores all the time. That doesn't make it any less toxic. That doesn't make it any less hurtful. Like, it's the same thing. We're just, again, stigmatizing what a woman does, magnifying what a woman does. Like, what she did was so much worse. It's equally toxic.
Right. I can agree with that.
In doing so, I had this conversation with a couple of people I was talking to and dating with, and I had one woman. I was like, "What is your sexual fantasy?" I didn't judge her. At all. I thought it was weird, and that's not something I'm up for. But I will be more than happy to support you in your decision in getting that. Just not with me. Whereas, she wants to she really wants to peg a dude and like put on the strap on and just go town on a brother. I said, that is so nice for you. That's not going to happen here. However, I got you. Like, you know what I mean? I can help you I will help you facilitate your social support, because you're not doing that to me. Not even a little bit. But then I had one woman, she was like, yeah, I just want to basically get ran through. I was like,
but see, being able to say that, and this goes back to that safe spaces thing, because like we said, you want to create a safe space where both partners can feel comfortable and confident to be their authentic selves and share their authentic truths regardless of the situation, right? But the reality is that in order to create a safe space, you have to feel safe within your own body. And for most of us, that is not a reality. And it
No,
comes
it's
up
not.
just like y'all were talking about. When you hurt my feelings, my first defense is to throw it right back at you and hurt you because that's all that I know. So many of us are living in this perpetual trauma response that we can't realistically be a safe space for anybody else. I know so many people who are like, oh, I'm open and honest and I just want the truth. And then they get the truth and they're like offended and throwing chairs and doing all this crazy stuff. And it's just like, but you asked for this.
Triggered. You have to deal with your own triggers. Your triggers are not somebody else's responsibility.
No, it's
Yes.
not.
I don't care if you call it shadow work. I don't care if you call it therapy. I don't care if you call it self-reflect. Whatever. Do the work. You got to
That's
do
it.
the work.
The word.
You can't
It
be
is-
with
it is
somebody else
hard.
if you can't be with yourself. If you are uncomfortable
Yes.
with yourself, you cannot be in a relationship with somebody
Exactly.
else. You have to do
Facts.
the work.
Facts.
But that's
It's
what
true.
so many of us do. We run to relationships trying to escape ourselves, not recognizing that relationships are literally mirrors. They are going to show you the parts of yourself that are ugly and uncomfortable and all the things, and you're going to have to sit in it, and you can throw this person away, and the next person's going to come along with that same reflection because it's not them.
It'll be, and you're running through different peoples that are showing you different sides of yourself that you keep closing the door on, and it's like, nah, bro, we gonna talk about this, and I'll break up with one chick, right, and who basically is a mirror of this one thing, and then talk to a different chick, and she's a mirror of something else. I'm like, God damn. You know, so it's like,
cannot
man, this
escape
one, you cannot go nowhere. It's okay. You're not going anywhere. Poppy's here. You're not going nowhere. So it's just like, yo, the
Right?
crazy thing about it though is doing the work. Self-reflection is very important, but the like when it's all said and done, like you said, Dre, Reese, it's all about being mature enough to have that conversation and
Right.
creating a safe space for both people. And we fall into and society. I feel like society is 100% to blame because you want to throw people in this box of what's normal behavior and or like I'll have somebody say you're a deviant. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's like, to me, I'm like, you just called me the spawn of the devil because I'm like, that's because I like a little extra kinkiness. I'm a deviant. Like, okay, wrong. I'm
This
not the
right
person for
here.
you then.
And Trish mentioned this before. So first, Trish said hold on. There is no language but connection and attachment. There is no safe space, right? People are looking for safety in their physical body by acting out, right? And then Cedric said, sometimes the trauma response is so deep and causes the person to be unaware being in the body is the most comfortable, safest place to be. And that is really a reality. For some people, their existence is so uncomfortable that all they can do are these physically pleasing things because these endorphins are released and all these chemicals are released that make me feel good and feel safe in this moment. So I'm going to keep seeking that thing out, right?
Yeah. It's like an episode of Peter Griffin doing acid for the first time. And he's like, that whole feeling and vibe. It just like you just fall into off the chair. It's like, why does it feel so good?
Yeah, because you have to think when trauma happens, most of us escape into our minds, out of our bodies, right? And so then you're trying to get back into your body. So you're doing these physical things, whether it's masturbation or cheating or whatever the thing is, trying to reconnect and feel in your body. I can't access these feelings on my own, so let me run through people. That's what Trish said. Yeah. And it's completely accurate. There are so many reasons why people cheat. And it's the reason, is irrelevance. Get to the source. Yes, okay. You cheated.
But why?
There's this reason. Okay. What are we doing with it? Right?
How are we going to make this work? How are we going to make this work? And mental health and relationships is very important more than ever now. And it's great that we're in an era now where everybody's basically bringing it to the forefront. Men and women are like, because back in the day, even when MySpace was out and Facebook was just jumping off, nobody was really talking about the polyamorous life or, the different groups of people in, I know the swingers community was always like a hidden thing. You don't talk about it. The poly life, the polygamy people were just like, shh, we don't talk about it. Now it's becoming more and more of a conversational thing and then more and more of an acceptance for people. And some people don't know how to deal with that because, again, society puts us in a box where we have to say, yeah, it's like, oh, that's wrong. And then the favorite, the one thing they all throw, the Bible says, oh, God says. I'm just like, man, you don't go on somewhere with that shit. Sorry.
What were you saying, Reese?
I think that's a change in a very positive direction. It's more acceptable to get therapy. It's more acceptable to have these conversations and to be open to different lifestyles. So it makes the whole premise of cheating to me that much more of an oxymoron, because those conversations and those lifestyles and being a part of those things is so much more accessible and so much more acceptable than it ever was. So if that is who you are, or if that is what you're seeking, or if that is what you need, you can get that way more readily and easily now than 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And to say, oh, well, I can't find, Mikey said earlier, you know, but we have a hard time finding that. Well, then you're putting yourself in the wrong spaces, because there are literally full communities that welcome that have that. And again, even in those communities, you have to have done the work. You have to know yourself, because there is boundaries within those relationships and communities. And also there's rules, there's comfort levels, there's all of those things. So you still have to have those uncomfortable conversations. But if that's the lifestyle you are looking for, it's not an excuse to cheat, because it is out there and it is way more accessible than it ever was.
But I think also with that, I completely agree with what you're saying. And I think the reason why some people still refuse to just go and live that lifestyle and choose to continue cheating comes back to shame. Because if I am honest with myself and I choose to live this lifestyle, that means that I have to be honest with myself. I can
that's
no longer
hard.
creep
You don't know
around
what
in the
that's like.
shadows.
You don't know what that looks like.
Yeah.
You don't know what that looks like. Being honest with yourself, you don't know what that looks like. Listen, we're and this is another thing too, where we're in the world now. I identify as a woman, but I'm a man. Okay, I identify 6 foot. I identify like I'm 6 foot, and I got a body like Ryan Reynolds with a voice like Idris Elba. We not living in the same world right now. Okay, we not. So it's like, hey. But that's the thing though, looking at yourself in the mirror and actually being like, yo, this is who you really are. Love yourself, man. There's nothing wrong with you. Just the box that we were all taught to be in was made to control us, not to set us free.
Right. On the news not too long ago, I saw a special about a school that instead of giving punishments, they do meditation, right? So instead of going to detention, they send you to meditate. And I love that thought process, because I know when I first started on my journey to kind of go, unpack my own baggage, the thing that I feared the most was silence, right? Having to sit with yourself is a scary thing when you have demons to fight, or when you're trying to literally deal with your past trauma. Yeah. So I would go on the car and for long rides for work and stuff, I'd go be in the car for like 4 hours, and I would purposely leave the radio off and have to sit with yourself. Mm-hmm. And so that meditation mimics that. And I think as we progress as a society, I hope that becomes a thing where people learn to sit with themselves and to literally have to listen to yourselves. Because even that alone, as far as therapy, is free, but so impactful to just sit with your own thoughts for a second.
Yeah, loving yourself is very important, and it's hard, especially like being a person from the Caribbean islands. Your Caribbean family are the most savagery above all. They'll look at you and be like, yo, boy or girl, look at you. Why you smiling for? You're so ugly. But me love you anyway. Girl, why you eating so much? You're so fat. You're never gonna get a man. Yo, they like all of that, just messes with you so heavy. And it's just like everybody starts to act out, and they start to become completely different people. They start to become something that is not who they are. They try to be everything but themselves. And mothers, fathers, aunties, grandmas, they're not loving. They don't make you feel like you should love yourself. You should be ashamed of who you are and not accept yourself. And that's bad.
That's generational trauma. That's something, unfortunately, way too prevalent, not only in our cultures and in our races, but just with those older generations, period. It was, well, I was treated this way, so I'm going to treat you this way.
Treat you that way. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
But all that
turned out fine.
Breaking down. Yep, exactly. But it's just carrying over generational. That's also scientifically backed. That generational trauma gets coded into our DNA. And until we deal with it, it then transfers to our kids. When I had my kids, that was the reason I started to learn to sit with myself, because I refused to let those things carry over into my kids. I refused to let all of those generational traumas and hurt pass down, all of the things that I hated, pass that down to my kids. But
so when we were talking about the whole cheating experiences, right? So when I was in my 20s, I was kicking it with a guy. We were together. Didn't hear from him for a little while. I looked up. He moved to Colorado and got married, right? So, Yep, that's how that went. He chased me all through high school, everything. But anyway, so few years into him being married, he messaged me on Facebook and he apologized, and he talked about how much he regretted doing that and being with the person that he with. Still stayed with her, whatever reason. So now he's in the middle of a divorce, left her. And he's like, I want to see if we can hang out. I'm like, no. I'm like, I need you to go sit with yourself and figure out why you made the decisions that you made. I'm like, you probably want to go see a therapist because divorce is traumatic as well. You're
Mm-hmm.
I said, you've never been by yourself. Like, you
Nope.
have to figure this out of who you are. And he was like, I don't go to therapy. I don't want to go to therapy. He's like, I'm just going to leave that stuff in the past and I just don't want to think about it. And I had never heard that because therapy is my first run to.
Not for
Or
men. Not for men. We don't do that. We don't do that. We don't
Not for
sit
a
on
lot of
nobody's
people.
couch. We don't sit on that couch.
You don't have to sit on the couch. Sit with yourself.
But that's the thing.
We're not doing that neither. That's
We
too
are
much
in
time.
a society that encourages the exact opposite. If you think about anywhere you go out in the world, there is music playing, there are people talking, you got your ear pods, you got your this, you got your that. There are so many different electronic avenues available for us to not sit with ourselves. It's like society is like, oh, if you, yeah, every distraction in the world, we're going to throw it at you so that you have no sense of self-awareness, so you can continue to live in chaos and we can continue to make money off of you. That is the system. Like there's very few places, there are very few places that encourage that stillness, that sitting with yourself. Like Cedric said, that meditation. Jen said the world is noisy and encourages us to numb and distract. That is exactly right. Go buy that alcohol, go buy those drugs, go get the medication drugs too.
Absolutely. Give me them
All the
damn
things.
edibles in that damn. I don't do that. Sorry, but give somebody would say, give me the edibles in that Henny or that vodka, so I can just basically forget and tune out
Right.
the whole world
So
and
I
whatever
can
the
numb
hell I got
myself.
going on, so I
Yeah.
can numb myself. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. It is a
Wait, hold
thing.
on. We can't hear
and
you. What'd you say, Drea?
that therapy is the only place you can go and talk to somebody and know somebody on the streets is not gonna know your business. So why you want to talk to Tyrone and he running and go tell Derek everything that happened? Therapy is the only place you can unleash.
Safe space with no judgment that Mikey, you said all men want.
And that's what
That
I
and that's true. We do want that, but unfortunately, it's like you said. It's like you said, Reese. The old you in your 20s wouldn't be so friendly with people now like you are now. So if your mental conditioning is to now, I don't trust anybody, point blank, period. You ain't gonna trust a complete stranger with your business still because now I don't know you. What you looking at, son?
Yeah.
Why you trying to get on my business, man? You know what I mean? So it's like while it is the safest place, but it's basically being an adult and having that mental intelligence, that emotional intelligence to try to unlearn. It's not easy at all. It's like it's
Right.
literally pulling back an onion with gloves on. And you just got to try to peel back them layers of all the thing that taught you to be this way and pull that back and get to that core of yourself and then rebuild from that. And it's a lot hard. It's easier said than done, though. It's easier said than done.
I think a majority of our issues as a society come from a lack of trust. We do not trust ourselves.
Nope.
And as a result, we cannot possibly trust other people. I
Facts.
can't trust you with my information. I can't trust you with my car. I can't trust you with my money. I can't trust you with my heart. I can't trust you with my anything. And until we get over that lack of trust, until we start building a trusting relationship with ourselves first, we're going to continue in these cycles. Therapy can be there. I've had so many people come and talk to me and they'll sit with me and pay me money to sit and talk to me about the mundane things about their lives because they don't
But
trust me to talk about the real things. Like,
exactly.
okay, so how long are we going to small talk today?
No, listen, I did therapy myself. And it was just that I talked about everything but the nucleus. I talked about everything but the nucleus. And the guy was a very distracting guy for me, but it was just like, I just can't. I'm like, how do you, like, you're in a wheelchair and you got hands? I don't know. It's just weird. It was like the guy from Scary Movie. This is my strong hand.
Okay,
like,
focus. We're focusing.
That part.
We're focusing.
Go on a tangent. It threw me off. No, but it was like very important to basically, like you said, one thing I learned about therapy from that person and constantly doing things with other people, and Jordan is definitely a helpful person in this, is asking yourself, why do you feel that way? What is the driving force behind you being the way that you are, feeling the way that you feel? And I'm gonna tell you right now, that's an ugly thing. It threw me through a field of depression where I was like, yo, I don't think I want to be in this world anymore. Life will be better without me. Because looking at yourself is, some people mentally ain't ready or capable of handling that. And and it spirals. And it took me to a dark place where I was like, oh no, this ain't it. This ain't it. Crying, just fetal position, just rocking. It was bad for me. And through friends, and just basically being honest about people about what I'm going through, because it's hard. While everybody says, oh, don't kill yourself, talk to me first. It's easy to say that, but then it's harder for that person to talk to you, because the second you do, you automatically worrying about, are they judging me? Are they looking at me weak? Are they, or you get the text message, hey, you good? I'm just checking up on you. I'm fine, man. I just told you something. Now you making me feel like I'm an invalid. I can't do shit by myself. The pride mentality kicks in. Don't take pity on me. I'm still a person. Like it's all of these things that come into your own mind, making you feel afraid to basically open up to people about yourself, even a complete stranger, but even to those that are close to you. Because when it's all said and done, therapy asks you to do is to confront your demons, confront your family members, talk to your family, because at the end of the day, they know they won't always be there for you. They'll give you the tools for you to apply to basically move on with the rest of your life, and being able to speak about your things rather than keeping it bottled up. And it's hard for a lot of us to go through that. And coming outside of that, which I have done, coming outside of it and basically being like, okay, it was hard. It was very hard. But now I get it. And now I'm free to be completely open about everything and make it be weird looking for a lot of people. But it's like, yeah, man, I'm not ashamed. I don't care what you think about me, because I'm comfortable in my skin now. My childhood trauma, my deviant sexual behavior, thought process, or whatever it may be, I don't care now. This is me. It's a part of me. I'm working on it. But if you feel like I'm not a friend, if you feel like it's too much for you to be a friend of me or somebody I'm supposed to be in a relationship with, then so be it. I'm not gonna cry over spilt milk anymore. I'm not gonna lie to you to keep you in my life. So, and then that way I keep you in my life, and I still gotta end up cheating on you because I get it for somebody else.
So when it comes to therapy, I'm a firm believer. I tell people all the time, your family and friends are not the go-to people. And the only reason why I say that is because they are not equipped with the tools to literally help you. They're not equipped with it. Therapists should be fully trained on handling trauma and issues like that. When you go to these old folks with your issues, it's strap them up by your bootstraps and get out there and make it work. They don't really have
I'll
the
pray
tools
for you,
to
or
help
let's
you.
pray
And
about it.
so you need to talk to somebody who is literally trained, went to school for it, can help you keep your business on that piece of paper, and you can spill out whatever you need to spill out. Because when you're talking to your relatives, you don't know what's going on in their head. Oh, they over there talking about so and so. That's my sister, and blah 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 blah. So I don't never think family and friends is your go-to. If it's a 911 emergency, I'm about to jump off this bridge, sure. But anything else other than that, they not the people for me. They
Cedric
not the
said,
people.
Biased, right? Your family and friends are always going to have biases. They're going to have the biases of sometimes to protect you, or sometimes what they see as your negative qualities. And so they'll magnify those and the story you're telling them. Like they're going to have their own negative connotations or their own sense of protectiveness that's going to skew their perception of what you're saying anyway. Not only that, if they care about you, they either want to protect your feelings and not call you out, or they want to call you out because they're being malicious because you did something to them last week. Like it's just a very skewed relationship. Having
Cedric,
a therapist as a safe space is that neutral ground.
Cedric's statement on it: family and friends always think they have to fix what's wrong with you, what's wrong with us. We only need someone to listen, and that's true. At the end of the day, therapy is good, but at the same point in time, if you just got somebody that's just gonna sit there and just listen, that's really what some people actually do need. And you're right though, Reese, on the whole family and friends. They know you because of the whole biasness. So their information that they have on you is gonna skew their thought process of what you're going through and what you're dealing with at the time, and it is very difficult. So then the question is I have for you ladies here, if that is all, as we wrap things up, in the aspect of the whole cheating aspect, which was the topic of today, right? And when it comes to the whole relationships of cheating and being completely honest, like you said, there's so many things now everybody can be honest. What is the best way to help somebody get through that, what would you suggest versus them, like, because we're all agreeing about like being honest about what you want and what you don't want, but how would they go about it? How does that look? How is it supposed to look? Because it's like
for
you got
somebody who
people.
cheated.
No, not only like somebody who's either cheated or basically saying, "Damn it, I'm with you for so long, but I've been keeping this side of me a secret, and I want this done to me, or I want to do this." How would they go about expressing that without basically you saying, "Oh, you gay," or "You this," or "You that," or you know what I'm saying? You just, you know what I mean?
Consistency, having a consistent open relationship, where you make it a habit to have those uncomfortable conversations together. When you build that trust, consistency builds trust, because consistency builds a habit. If you start your relationship with those open and honest conversations and those hard conversations to have, then the harder things become easier because you are consistent, and then that response becomes consistent and the trust becomes consistent. But when you start a relationship by what I call introducing your facade, right? That first 90 days, you meet their representative, you don't meet them, right? When you start your relationship with that, building that trust is almost impossible because their perception is stuck on that presentation, that representative you had. You didn't start consistent and you didn't start clear. You have to start from there. You have to have that foundation set.
I completely agree with that. But I also want to tag on to that there are some people, because of the condition that they're in, that they are never going to be able to be a safe space. Not never, but in the relationship dynamic that they're in, they won't be able to be a safe space because of whatever past traumas and past whatever's they've. Yes, communicating, starting a relationship with a healthy foundation of communication, superb. But also being realistic about traumas and all of those things that may make communication really ineffective. Like, yeah, we can communicate about what we want to eat or taking care of the kids or taking care of the house. But when we have to sit down and talk about feelings and the essence of who we are, it's just like, it's very triggering. And so in some cases, there is no help for that. Y'all just need to go do the work personally, separately, and then come back and try again, or whatever you decide to do after you do the work. That is also a reality. Just wanted to tag that in there. Very great answer, Reese.
For me, say, be honest, get to know yourself, be honest about why you're entering into the relationship to begin with. Because I noticed that a lot of people enter into a relationship. A couple may enter into a relationship for two totally different reasons. And that may be part of the issue. One may be running from something, and one is trying to get away from being in their family's clutches. So be honest about that. Be honest about your sexual, I don't want to say history, sexual wants and needs and desires, because sex is a big part of everything. Getting to get to know your partner and their wants and needs and desires as well before you guys lock into a relationship or a marriage, because these are big things. Sex is a big reason for cheating and divorce. Finances are a big reason for cheating and divorce, and it all comes down to honesty and expectations.
Yeah, very true.
Well said, ladies.
True. Thank you both for joining us. This was such a fantastic conversation. I really appreciated both of your inputs. Mike, did you have any last minute thoughts?
Nah, this was fantastic. I loved it all. This is great. Thank you, ladies, for coming.
So with that being said, that brings us to the end of today's wonderful episode. Remember, as always, our goal is to not dictate conclusions, but to encourage self-reflection and open, honest dialogue to help us to better understand the world around us, but most importantly, ourselves. So we invite you to keep the conversation going in the comments. We'd love to see your thoughts, your stories, your perspectives. Reach out to us directly if you have something you want to say, or like Rosalie, if you want to join the panel. Send us a message so we can have you on here. We'd love to chat with you. We appreciate your feedback and are totally committed to making the podcast better with every episode. So with that being said, until next time, we will see you when we see you.
Afita Sen. Bye. Toka.
Good night.